Here we have some data showing how the length of a wire affects its resistance, and we're going to plot a graph of that data. The first thing to do is to select all the data using the mouse. We can then go to the Insert tab and just left of the centre, under Charts, choose a scatter chart, and we'll go for scatter with only markers to start with. And there we have the graph. The first thing we're going to need to do to this graph though is add some labels to the axes. So we're going to choose the Layout tab, and under Axis Titles, a horizontal axis title below the axis, which will be length of wire L in centimetres, and then a vertical axis title, we'll go for the rotated one, resistance R. To get the ohm symbol, we're going to need to go to Insert, Symbol. It will be under Greek and Coptic, and also in recently used. Once you've used it, double click to insert and then close the bracket. For a overall title, it's back to the Layout tab, Chart Title, above the chart, a graph to show how the resistance of a wire varies with its length. There we go. So that now has all the required information, but it's not as neat as it could be. First of all, we're going to move it to its own page by going to Design, then Move Chart, makes it a new sheet. Okay, that's now big enough that we can see everything that's going on. The legend over here is not very helpful, so we're just going to click on that and delete it so that the graph takes up all the page. We can then add in some grid lines to the graph. We do that by going back to Layout and under Grid Lines for horizontal, major and minor, and then the same for vertical. We're also going to change the points to small crosses instead of blue blobs, and we right click on the points and use Format Data Series to do that. Under Marker Options, we want to go from automatic to built-in, choose a cross and we'll reduce it to size 5, then under Marker Line Colour, a solid line that is black, and close that, and we should see some black crosses. We also need to add a trend line, so if we right click on the points again, we can add a trend line. Linear is the default. If it's curvy, you may need to change that. We can display the equation and the R² value on the chart and close that. I'm going to bring that down to the bottom right hand corner out the way of the data, and also by clicking in the box I can add the text that says that's the best fit line. The only slight problem we now have is that the resistance axis now goes down to -0.5, and because there are no points below 0, we don't really want the axis going below 0. So if you right click on any of the numbers on the axis, we can format the axis, and one of the options is to change the minimum to a fixed value of 0, and we can close that. And so there we have a nice graph of how the resistance of a wire varies with its length with a best fit line. That's all for now.